god, did you see his numbers again? Yeah, he's been at the bottom for like a month.
Come on, you scrubs! 2 arms!
Lex might be a little too far from the mic, maybe a little closer.
It's touching my face.
Not another spider!
I was not protected. Oh yeah, doesn't want to fall damage.
I was standing in the pool because I thought we had the silted.
Ooh, fell asleep at my desk. And I drowned in the stormwind canal.
No, Jim, I don't want to hear about your chaos bolt.
Well, you want me to dispel? I don't even have that on my action bars.
Stop standing in the fire.
What fire?
Alright, pre-pot, and tricks to the trade. Oh, that was the healer.
What just killed me there? Yep, physical damage. So bad at playing a demon hunter.
Oh my god, we did it.
You're listening to Scrubs vs. the World with your hosts, Cyrub and Projali.
And welcome into the show, everyone. Tonight we are going to react violently.
Yeah!
Scary.
To the news of BlizzCon online.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I don't know if it'll be violent, but it'll be fun. Joining us, as always, is the co-host, Mr. Projali. How you doing, bud?
Doing just fine, just fine. How about yourself, Cy?
I'm hanging in there. You know.
It's important.
Took my son to a doctor's appointment, so I got to leave my house.
Oh,
I know. That was exciting. Also terrifying, but it was good. It was good.
yeah.
Other than that, you know, just hanging out, living the dream.
Right on, right on.
Yeah. And joining us tonight is Frazley. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, doing really good. So just got done over in Ardenweald and working on some of the callings out there. Because, you know, those quests, they call me, and no one knows how much anima it'll take me to get all the cosmetics that I need.
A lot.
Yes. Yeah, thousands.
Someone did a tweet today, and I was like, God, how? I'm like thinking to myself, okay, all right, we'll get these at some point. Someone had a theory that maybe Tanarus and Athreus was keeping all the stuff locked up, and maybe the anima drought will go away, but then someone on stream was like, nope, sorry, Ian said this is an entire expansion, so I'm just kind of like, okay, so by the time we finish Shadowlands, I will maybe have the 3rd level of my conservatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about right. I am right there with you, because I have the 2nd level.
Okay.
And about 14 anima left in the bank here.
Have you seen
the next one?
I think it's a carve-out animation where like they're about the anima and like the one of the Kyrian is like sitting in on the pool and the person's running all around like the anima and puts it in there and the Kyrian just takes a small sip and they're like, what? And the Kyrian's like,
Oh, those comics are great.
They are.
Well, hell yeah. Well, this is going to be fun.
Yes.
Now, Projali, the temporary Insanity raid team is progressing on Mythic level.
Yes.
How is your progress coming along? I know you guys dropped Sludge Muffins last time we spoke.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get Commanders down yet?
We are touching on the final phase, so it's a very, very, very sequential fight, and if you mess up timings 5-10 seconds at the wrong spot on Mythic, it messes up the timers for the rest of the fight, so you might as well just wipe it. So, I think this week, as long as we can consistently get into the last phase, that's actually the easiest phase of the fight. So we'll probably get it down Thursday is my hope, and then on to Sire.
There you go.
Sire Denathrius, you will take me down and all that.
Or
he's got his friends.
Dubbed him Steve Denathrius.
Yeah, good old Stevie D.
Because we know Sire is definitely not his real name.
Yeah, I think he gave himself that. You know, like he tried to make it a thing, and his friends just haven't bought into it. They're like, "No, you're still Steve. Sorry, man. Like, Sire, it's a little official. I don't know.
Yeah, a little on the nose.
Reminds me of Lord Farquaad from Shrek. He's compensating for something.
I am a Lord Farquaad.
Pretty much.
It's a good movie.
It is.
Yeah, I love that villain.
Does that make the raid team Shrek?
Ooh.
Ooh, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I can
I
see
think
it.
that fits. That's good.
And,
That's
and you
good
know,
stuff.
in the morning, I'm making waffles. You know that reference? Both parents that are listening will get this, and kids will get this too. I mean, that reference is like cross-generational because...
It's
Oh,
timeless at this point, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I believe I was talking to somebody, I think it was in your Discord actually today, and I dropped a Shrek reference. I can't remember what we were talking about, but it was the better out than in quote. And I know that is a quote about a fart, okay? I know this.
Right.
But the fart means so much. It could mean so many deeper things than just a fart, so...
It's philosophical, really.
It is. It really is. So that just shows you the depth that is the majesty of Shrek.
Yes. I still remember somebody, and sorry, this is not the Shrek Nostalgia podcast, but somebody was like, you know, the one, like, the song that they end at the end of the first movie where, when I saw your face?
But yes. Yeah.
Someone was like, that's the Shrek song. I'm like, no, that came out before Shrek.
Right.
It did? Yes.
Yep.
Barely, though. Just barely.
Yes.
About 30 years, though.
Yeah. I don't know if the Beatles would ever thought that their song would be played in a movie about an ogre and then a donkey who marries a dragon and all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I bet you... oh, God. What was his name? John Lennon would have... He would have believed you. Because he was high all the time. Right.
Imagine all the movies that'll be made with our song.
Yeah. I bet you if you told Paul or Ringo, they'd be like, no, mate.
No,
or however they
mate.
sound. That's terrible British. I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
easy
sorry.
if you try.
That wasn't even an attempt at a British accent on my part. So
You know, it's okay. We'll totally cut it out. We won't leave it in the show at your, behest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can say that you were a scrub at British accents.
There we
That's
go.
true. That's a good point. See? The show name works, everyone.
Exactly, because it's
It
versus
gives
the world.
me- Right? It gives me carte blanche access to just screw everything up. It's beautiful.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
just, it's really on brand at this point.
It's perfect. Cy, you're an idiot. I know.
Oh, well, we love you. We love you anyway.
Oh, jeez.
It reminds me of the old Southern phrase, bless your heart.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it is. We do run into those.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my boss says that all the time, and I don't know if she's being, like, sarcastic to me or if she's, like,
Yeah.
truly, like, I'm sorry for what you're going through.
Ooh.
I'm not from the South,
It
so
is.
I don't know.
It's yeah. No, it can be tough to decipher.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. Well, I wanted to bring you folks together to talk about the Blizzconline experience. Now, Fraz, I kind of watched it with you in your stream,
Yes.
which was a lot of fun. I only watched day 1, though. I didn't watch day 2. A bunch of stuff
Day
going
2,
on.
though, you missed. I'm serious. An amazing cooking stream. I did not think that would be one of my favorite panels, but aside from the voice actor panel, I loved that cooking stream. Lula Boo, she is amazing, and like follow her on Twitch because I love people that do more than just gaming on Twitch. But
Yeah.
she made cooking fun, and she made me engaged the whole time. I kept thinking, okay, it's gonna be like, no, I was engaged the whole time with it.
That's awesome because I'm getting into cooking myself. So fun fact. So in a couple weeks, the show will come out roughly around the 4th. So I think next weekend I'm doing a loaf cook-off, a meatloaf cook-off. And my sister-in-law and I have been talking supreme garbage to each other because whoever wins is going to win a picture of Meatloaf holding an award.
Then you better work hard and you better not loaf around.
Exactly. So it's like the singer Meatloaf is holding one of his Grammys, and so it's a Meatloaf Award.
Nice.
So many puns. I had to tell you that because I know you love the puns.
Yes. I still remember they made a show of like Meatloaf Crunch. Here, meat.
Oh, yeah.
Loaf.
Yep.
But just so you know,
so much nostalgia.
Childhood's coming back. Yep.
oh man. Well, cool. Well, let's dive into the BlizzCon goodies here. Now, let's start with Classic TBC.
Yes.
For those of you not in the know, Classic TBC stands for Classic: The Burning Crusade.
Mm-hmm.
And Blizzard is going to relaunch that expansion in the same vein as they did with Classic WoW, the original game. And I don't know about you two, I am super excited to play this version because this is where my toon name Cyrub came to be.
The origin.
The origin story of Cyrub is in this expansion. So they've let Draenei's be shaman.
Yep.
And this is how I came up with the name. I hit randomize. It's
a great tool.
Yeah, oh yeah. Cyru came up, and it didn't work. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go down the alphabet and see what sticks. And B happened to stick.
You made it a couple letters down.
Yeah. So that's how Cyrub came to be. That's why my name is so weird. But I loved it because it is so different.
And I'm glad that it did not rub you the wrong way and all that.
No, it rubbed me the right way, but we're not going to go into that.
And also, before we get into anything further, I can't let this go. TBC, the beginning of Cyrub.
Oh, yes! Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It works.
I mean, I guess the show's over now. I think
Yeah, wow.
But I have to say,
good work, team.
I had known this was coming for a while, like the Burning Crusade, because Josh Corbett, who has his ear to the ground on everything classic, like I don't know how he does it, but he knows what's
He's a
happening.
warlock. Yeah.
And like he was like, "We're getting Burning Crusade Classic." We're like, okay, if he says it, I know it's going to happen. And it wasn't a surprise, but I'm glad it's happening. What surprised me though is how they're doing it, and how they're like, our server's going to go on. But you can decide, do you want to go back, go forward? And if you go forward, you can then still go back for a fee. And I'm hoping the fee's not too expensive. Like, I'm hoping that it's 15 to 20, because $60, in my opinion, I get it for revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it would definitely be more. And I was thinking today, why do they need a fee to go back?
Oh, it's probably to help incentivize, like, keeping the classic expansions and stuff kind of being a thing.
Okay.
I mean, I know that... Now, I don't know the inner workings of Blizzard, so please, like, this is all my guess. I have no idea. But just looking at it from, like, what I would do if I was Blizzard, I mean, I think having a small fee... to put to put somebody on that kind of task to make sure that we can go back and they can move make the copies of the tunes and stuff. I don't know what the process is, but they probably need somebody to do it. So I'm assuming that fee covers that cost. That's my guess.
And I could see that because they're going to be having multiple servers, that they need a fee to be like, this is another character, and the loss in game time to get a character up to that level, we're going to make up for and charging you a fee versus having you pay a sub every month to level your character.
Yes, that is a great way to put it as well.
Yep. Same with the boost, because boost, I do understand that like you either pay time or you pay money to get your character up as fast as you can.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, and if you just focus that one tune and it takes you 2 months, it's $30, right?
Yeah.
Roughly. So, I mean, that's a great way to look at it, too. I hope, like you're saying, I hope it's not $60. That would be way too much.
Well,
especially
I think,
for a classic version of the game.
I could see if they were to ever do something on retail that way, or like clone between servers, I could see under 60, but yeah, classic. And if they want to incentivize people to go back, like I can see the guilds are moving forward, but then like, okay, we want to go back for a little while. We want to go forward. If you want to get whole guilds doing this, you would probably want to make it cheaper. Then that's like a couple $100 that you're going to get as Blizzard at that time.
Right. Yeah. I also think that there might be enough interest in it for because the classic base was pretty strong. Yeah, I think it's still pretty strong to my understanding. Mm-hmm. And I know TBC is just going to bring more people in.
Oh yeah.
And I think if they can have a way to service both communities, that's going to work the best. Because, I mean, you put a lot of work into your tunes in the Classic. So if I want to move my one tune from Classic to Burning Crusade, but I still like dinking around in Classic, I think it's a good thing to offer that service.
Yeah.
Projali, what do you think on this?
I think the clone service is probably going to get a lot of traction. I mean, you're paying your fee already for your retail account to have access to the classic servers. So I mean, you're not adding an additional monthly fee. I could see where they're coming with, and anytime they add a monetary fee, of course they're going to get money for it, but it also disincentivizes people overusing it and kind of population control in a way. So I don't know. I would probably, if I had a max 60 in Classic, I would probably do the clone feature, just because it would give me best of both worlds. I think, if I was 16-year-old Zach when I was back in vanilla Burning Crusade era, didn't have a lot of money, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just continue on into Burning Crusade and go with the newer content, as it were. But it's I think it's a good tool. And the boost offering, I think they did a nice middle ground there, only allowing you to do one per account.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And preventing you from selecting Draenei or Blood Elf as kind of the newer races to choose. So maybe that gives a little more credence to those people who hit 70 on their original tune, so to speak. But
yeah, I definitely.
I'll definitely be using that boost.
Yeah. Yes. That is definitely going to happen.
And I think that's a good way, too, that once per account, but to get you into Burning Crusade. Because I know some people who said they don't want to go all the way up. They just want to go to the end zone to Draenor. And I'm like, that makes perfect sense. And get people jumping in, because so many people are going to want to be there for that beginning feel when the Fell Reavers are there. And so I put in a here right now. Sorry, Kara. I know Kara hates that sound. I get it. I get. She tweets me whenever that sound's played on the podcast. I'm sorry, but yeah, everyone wants to experience that feeling and be there in the beginning.
Yes, 1,000% yes. Because I mean, that was the coolest feeling, was jumping into that portal for the first time, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
there's a bunch of demons fighting. Oh crap! How do I get past this? They're all skulls.
Insurmountable wall of elites. Yeah.
Yeah.
One question, especially because both of you are in Classic, and I'm curious. I heard less this time, no changes, and there are certain things I'm actually hearing possible changes. Like one is a group finder, not a duty finder, and not like a bringing you into
LFG we have now. Yeah,
the LFG random thing. Yeah.
But a grouping list tool. Because I remember when Classic first came out, somebody created the list tool, and Blizzard banned that. It's interesting that they're bringing that back now.
You want to jump on that one, Projali?
Yeah. So, and of course, a lot of this is still speculation until they get the beta servers up and running, and they can actually see the fully fleshed out feature set. But they were talking about things like you were saying, with kind of a reduced group finder, more just like a trade chat in a UI form, almost, if you think about it. But I think that would probably be a good choice, because I think a lot of the BC players remember it was similar to vanilla. You'd wait 2 hours to find your group, But then dungeon difficulty in BC, I don't think people were prepared for how difficult heroics were.
Yeah,
and how you needed a sheep, you needed a warlock for banish, you needed like 3 CC classes. So even DPS classes who didn't have a crowd control ability were kind of crap out of luck if they couldn't heal or tank. So I think a lot of those things people kind of forget about from the historical side, and I think a group finder feature is going to at least reduce that time. I think they're bringing the difficulty back to the release level difficulty, which I think is a good idea, and they can always reduce it if there's enough demand for that. But
yeah,
adding that feature makes it easier for that group to at least form, and so they can actually do the content, which without bringing that randomness. So hopefully you can still keep that server feel that you had in the older versions. And that community,
I see that one more as being like like a message board saying we have this going, because I remember I have not played Classic especially to group up, but I do remember like there being at one point looking for a way to post stuff late vanilla, early getting close to Burning Crusade. I remember there was some tool like that, and I think that would be good there. And keeping the difficulty at release makes sense, because I think they were surprised how quickly, like 45 minutes after they released a boss and already a world first.
Oh yeah, game over.
Yeah,
I'm happy that people wiped in Nax. That's what you get for farming all those stupid world buffs, you cheaters.
Yes,
they didn't do that back in the day. You were lucky your internet connection stayed alive long enough to even get into the raid. So, now, my opinion on that is, playing this game since the beginning, I've always said that if they were going to put an LFG style system into Classic, I hope it's like the LFG style that we have now for the looking for the group, like Mythic Pluses, for example. It's like, sounds like they're going to go down that road. Because it would make sense to me, because if let's say we're heroes, and us 3 are rolling, and we need 2 more heroes to join us to go do a dungeon, we're going to go to a bulletin board or something to say, hey, I need 2 more folks to join us.
Right.
So we can go in and kill this thing. And I think just from a user perspective, I would like that, because my time isn't what it used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
Now, I had my first child around BC, so I was kind of running out of time then, too. That's why I didn't really raid back then.
Right.
But I think that's a good idea to get something like that in. And I think if they make the content difficult enough, it'll keep people coming back. And I think if they can get that feel of, those heroics are difficult actually, then I think it'll be okay. I think that'll be a nice give and take there. So
it definitely seems like Classic set the feel for WoW, but like as someone was saying, that they refine certain things in Burning Crusade going forward.
Yeah, I think this version of BC is going to be awesome because of that, and because the player base is like, okay, the no changes crowd. I think looking back on it, hindsight being 2020 for Classic, they can admit that, hey, this was wrong. I was wrong. Now I don't know if they'll admit that, or we might get some heat for this, but I think in the end, I think they should have made a couple of changes. I think they should have kept the difficulty up. I think they should have, done a couple more things to help just make sure that the experience felt like it did back then. But I think that's a good lesson going into TBC that Blizzard's taking, and they're taking that seriously by not nerfing the bosses immediately. So, yeah, I think Blizz is going to do a good job with it. I trust them.
Yeah. And like I admit, I speak from some of this from trying to understand the Classic crowd, but as I told somebody, I am not the Classic player. Like I'm not. I don't think I'm going to go back into Burning Crusade, because I already don't have enough time to do all the stuff I want to do, and I don't like calling it retail, because it sounds like, I know it's what they call it, but I'll just say Shadowlands, because I think it's kinder to say you have Burning Crusade and you have Shadowlands, and it's harder for me to do stuff in Shadowlands, and I went into Classic for about 2 to 4 weeks, enjoyed it. I mean, I had fun doing it, but I'm also turning 31, and I'm like, I don't want to. I put my time in. I don't need to do this again.
Yeah.
Give me all the easy stuff now.
Yeah. No, I got a hunter up to like 46, and then I just focused on current. I call it current WoW.
Okay, I can understand that too. Yeah.
Like I think of it because retail is the code term they use on the private servers.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good point.
Private servers, and they call it retail and private servers. So I call it current WoW because it's both retail technically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're paying for both of them.
Yeah.
So
And disclaimer: Scrub vs. the World does not endorse private servers. So just disclaimer in case anyone from Blizzard is watching.
20% off your dedicated server. No, wait. Hang on. Enter code Scrubs versus the account ban.
All the money goes to Projali.
Yeah. Not even gonna hide that one. Straight to it. Oh, jeez. So if you two were gonna play, so Fraz, if you were to play Burning Crusade, what class would you roll? Out of curiosity.
I think I would definitely do a paladin or a shaman, something that could help me heal. Because one thing I realized when I was doing classic, are we allowed to swear? I keep forgetting that.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, go for it.
I fucking needed a heal. There were times I'm sitting there like doing bad, and like the paladin, even in like in current WoW, the paladin is so good, and because there are times I level slower than anybody else, so I need some survivability. Even though I know it's an MMO and classic, you really shouldn't solo. Or it's harder to solo. That's a better way to say it. It's harder because, but yeah, I definitely would do paladin.
Yeah.
Now, Blizzard, if you're going to not do no changes, we get a gnome paladin. That would really rile people up.
I've been seeing more movement on Twitter for that.
Yeah. Yes.
Jolly, how about you? What would you roll?
I think I'd have to go back to my old favorite from the old days, my troll shaman.
Ooh.
And just alternate back between resto and enhance, leather working for the drums, which apparently they're thinking about nerfing them so that your whole raid doesn't have to go leather working, which I can sympathize with, but my old hardcore nerd brain is like, why? Why would you do this, Blizzard? That was peak raiding when everybody had to be the same professions. Everybody would leatherworking and blacksmithing for extra sockets and drums. What?
That's right.
Why would you want different professions? Is there something else besides raiding? What? No, but yep, I'd go back to shaman. What do you think, Cy?
I would roll a young, virile, handsomer version of Cyrub.
Okay.
Dry Night Shaman.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then if I went to go back in time, it'll be like a Back to the Future thing. But I'll give him the almanac.
Oh, no.
So you're Biff in this scenario?
I am Biff, yeah. I will take over and take over the Goblin Casino there in Ashara.
Tonight's episode of Scrubs vs. the World is brought to you from Cyrub Studios. Brought to you from Gallywix's Pleasure Palace. In the penthouse suite.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to go relive the early days.
Yeah. And I have to
Up
say,
to like level 25 and then go back to normal.
I have a lot of people who come into like my stream and my podcast who play Classic, and I love that there's a way that they can play that they enjoy, because I get it. Some people really like it.
Definitely.
And Blizzard makes money because, like, one thing that I don't know if there's as many people that are anti-Classic nowadays, but if you're anti-Classic, you got to realize you are jeopardizing the profitability of WoW. That if you're against this, then in a way you're against Blizzard making money, because they're making $15 per month plus all these now clones of it. So I mean, it is to our benefit to support Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and there's nothing better than just cruising around like a level 15, going into Westfall, killing 7,000 Gortus because apparently they don't have livers.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just listening to the music and having a good time. Like, that's what I love about it. And I think having that option to go back and see where we came from has really made me appreciate the current game that much more.
Yeah, I think because it's a fun time capsule. It's a fun way to bring back that experience, and I kind of think like MMOs going forward, it's fun to go back to. I mean, there's still that City of Heroes server that I'm hoping NCSoft gets into an agreement with, because then I would love to go back to City of Heroes. It's fun seeing where have we gone. It's appreciating what we take for granted nowadays.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
You still can play Super Mario 1.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, I think TBC is going to be great, but jump into the current game. We have the Chains of Domination for 9.1. Very exciting stuff. And if you haven't seen the cinematic yet, spoiler alert, we'll kind of get into the story here in a minute, but just a heads up, you've been warned now. But, so Chains of Domination. We got some things coming our way. Before it drops, though, I wanted to touch on this because I'm actually excited for this. The new mount we're getting, the Ancient Defender, I think that's what it's called, Ancient Tree Guy mount.
I think that's the official name, yeah.
Ancient Tree Guy mount?
Yeah. All one word.
All one word. Capital T.
Yeah.
Now, I did not vote for this mount. I voted for the Jellycat.
Yes. I voted for the Caterpillar.
Yeah. What did you vote for, Projali?
I'm not going to lie. I don't remember if I voted on it.
So
I
you
think I saw
are
it
the
after
reason why.
the fact.
So you don't get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're like, no fun things for you.
No,
you didn't click the button.
I kept hoping because the fact that they had to have everybody log in that they'd be like, okay, you get the tree mount and you get the one that you voted for, and if you want the other ones, $9.95 in the Blizzard Cash Shop.
Yeah, they'll be
enjoy.
in the cash shop eventually. But
If it is, I might actually buy the Jellycat one.
Yeah,
I think that was cool. My favorite one though was because they had artists submit what they think they should be like, and my favorite one was the big fat Jellycat, or I should say plumpy Jellycat, and you rode the mount from inside the Jellycat.
I saw that one.
I was like, that one should have been in there. That is great. That's a new, exciting mount right there.
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's like a big, chunky Jellycat where you are inside of it.
You are the Jellycat.
Yes. And I loved the video about this one. Like all the stuff behind it. It's amazing to see whenever Blizzard reveals all the thought that goes into their models and like how it moves. Like the person's walking around and like you see them and then like you see it next to it. But I also loved the sound. Like when you hear them talking like, and it's like funny to see from this one person who doesn't seem like it would be what this would come from. And like they show it processed, of course, but they show it and you're like, wow, that's that. I mean,
that's pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Well, and you're thinking too, they actually hired somebody to do this?
Yeah.
Just like
this is a job?
Wow.
That's
I get that job. Oh, I got to do better voices.
Oh, yeah.
Can't even do a British accent, so why are they going to hire me to be the tree person?
Aren't the T-Rex sounds from Jurassic Park like cats or cows, if I remember right? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, yeah. It's a the T-Rex one is... I just actually watched a YouTube video on this weekend. Oddly enough. I'm glad you brought it up.
I was thinking on the same way. That is funny.
It's like... I think it's like a baby elephant, a tiger.
That's right.
And there's one more thing in there, too. Oh, an alligator sound. And then the raptor, the main sound of that, you were going to laugh at this one. It's two tortoises making love to each other.
Oh, my God.
So you know the R sound.
Oh, God. Now I'm picturing that video of the tortoise. We've all seen that video of the tortoise, and you see the little tortoises. Yes.
Yeah. They're making sweet raptor sounds together, and I saw that and I about died. I was like, oh my goodness.
Just picturing like a Foley artist with a boom mic over two tortoises going at it. Just like,
Come
what
on.
is my job?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Come on. You love the other tortoise. Come on. And there's like R&B music in the background, or like the sax.
So what do you do for work? It's a long story.
You know the raptor sound in Jurassic Park?
How much time you got?
Well, it's... I made that. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, yes. that was me. Yeah.
God.
Oh my goodness.
I never expected to learn about horses making love being the raptor sound in Jurassic Park. Wow.
There's a couple other sounds mixed in too, but that was the one that stuck out in my mind. I was like, I can't believe somebody filmed this. Who had the idea to add this?
Yes.
Like, that sounds like a dinosaur.
It makes you wonder what sounds in WoW are like two animals making love or something like that. Your anima sound. Yeah, your anima sound like two mice.
We need a blue post.
We do. We need a confirmation.
We need it here.
Oh, were the devil sore sounds really devil sores that you recorded?
How'd you find a devil sore? People want to know.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Whew. I don't know how we bring the show back from that one.
I don't either.
Well, speaking of mounts, there's a severed hand you can ride.
Yes. Wait. Mounts.
Segway.
Making love. Hands. I don't think that.
It's perfection. That segue was great.
That was.
Oh my
work
goodness.
here is done.
I'm crying.
Okay.
And you said that we were top of the chart in Bulgaria, I think you said.
Oh, yeah.
After this one, maybe.
Number 2 in Luxembourg, number 1 in your hearts.
and now number 5 in animal erotica.
He's got some new fans.
Yeah, I had to pick up the new British fans after a terrible accent.
Oh, she.
Now, speaking of like Covenant stuff, like mounts and stuff like that, I love that we're finally going to be able to equip any types of the armor that like as a plate wearer, you can now wear the cloth variants of your Covenant, and I'm like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because they said like if you want that fantasy of a plate wearer who wears cloth, and I do. You earn your appearance, and then you'll be able to equip any types. If I was hearing it correctly, because it sounds like they want plate wearers, and it does give you that ability. Like Anduin wears is a priest who's kind of a paladin, and like
who's wearing plate. Yeah.
But like, I would love to have that the ability, and Revendreth especially be able to wear your fancy attire.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I missed that note, but if that's the case, let's do it. I mean, it makes sense. Like, I have a body in the game. Why can't I put on just because it has cloth or leather? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I would say like if we were being realistic, but come on, I mean, some of the stuff that we can do in the game is not realistic. But
right.
If it was realistic, you would like lose some defense for wearing cloth.
Sure.
But I'm at least glad that they're relaxing some of the things in the game, and like that Covenant armor looks really cool.
Yeah. Well, and as a Night Fae, I think the the antler stuff is always cool.
Yeah.
And because when I kit out my shaman, like I think of it from like an actual shaman perspective. So I want like stuff hanging off me. I want beads. I want skulls. I want all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And give me some antlers. I'm happy.
Now, Kyrian remind me of like a frat party because of all the togas.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that is a perfect definition of that one there.
And adding to the Kyrian Sanctum, I don't know if you all saw, they'll be adding some beer pong and all that, so that way you and your favorite Kyrian can see. And the stewards have been practicing.
They've been. I don't even know what we can throw a who in there.
Yeah. But I do know it'll be a hoot, though.
There you go. Got it. We fumbled the handoff there, but you picked it up, scored a touchdown.
Yes.
So. You know, it's graceful.
and of course, I mean, we would be remiss if we didn't mention Korthia. I mean, the fact that we'll be able to mount now because you mentioned the Korthia. I take issue with Korthia on one reason. That city looks really cool, and it's locked behind a mega dungeon. Like, I want to go to Kazan. I want to go to Mechagon. Why do they keep putting these really coolly intricate cities in a dungeon? Like, give me the ability to instant into this dungeon, look around, do stuff, and then come back and do stuff. I mean, I almost have to say, like, I love Oribos, but almost looks like there's more to do in the city in Korthia than even in Oribos.
Mm-hmm. Well, Korthia just like the you touched on the mega dungeon there.
Yeah.
The Tazavesh, the Veiled Market.
Yeah.
Like those. It's like it looks like a bazaar. It looks really neat. Like it's cool. Like I'm glad they're putting this in there because I loved Mechagon. Like I get what you're saying though. Like it would be cool to go into the city, not as a dungeon as well.
Yeah.
And look around. Like maybe after you, I don't know. Maybe if you beat it once or something, you could, they move back in or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because
I do that, but
I remember talking with Clanker, and like Clanker would she said that she would like slow down her raid because she was always going into Kazan and like I'm gonna look over here, and it's like some of these dungeons would be really cool as a big city. I mean, look at Suramar. We couldn't enjoy Suramar till later because it was a area that was always hostile. It's like, why are some of the best designed cities so hostile to us?
Mm-hmm.
We are not welcome.
Yes.
The Maw does not want us. Or they want us, just not in the way that we want to be there.
Yes.
Right. They want to torture us horribly.
Yeah, it's not really what we're there for,
No. So now they're going to bring in flying as well.
Yes! And no rep requirements. I am so glad for that.
Yes. Yeah. That is fantastic. Like, I remember BFA just being like, ugh, all right, I'm going to go do this. Because I need my flying. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it.
I got halfway through, and I remember thinking, like, okay, the rep I got to get for this. Okay, let me get the contract so I can get more here. I'm so close. I have all the story done. And the fact that they're going to make it where you have to do 9.2 story, not 9.1, not 9.2 story, but 9.1, and you get flying. I will take that. Like, I still say that Final Fantasy 14 is the best way to get flying. Explore the zone, and you've got it. And I still like that. But I will at least take this, that you have to do the story, and you get it on every character. And it'll make people want to finish the storyline too, because maybe they realize people weren't finishing the story or something. But like, I think it's a better compromise.
Yeah, well, it just makes sense. I mean, you're doing the story anyway.
Yeah,
right. For the most part, like if you're playing this game for, I don't know, I don't know what you would do where you wouldn't do the story. Maybe alts. You're just farming, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
maybe
yeah,
that one person
yeah.
who's over in who hasn't left the starting zone for Pandaria for the last 7 expansions.
Well, there are people who
Like that
RP
name.
because I know some RPers who got in the Legion and they were still sub. Wait, no, Legion top was 110, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are other people in Legion. RPers I know who are like sub 100 or like a 101 or 102, but they never went farther because they got to do what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and you still got to be max for this because of the fact that the campaign's in your covenant. But yeah, I think that this is way better, and like everybody that I saw was cheering, especially when we had been told about flying way earlier. Because tonight I was with Cap heading to the war boss, and Cap says, "Okay, get on this mount," and we had to go through all of the bad stuff to get to the war boss, and flying can get rid of some of the irritations. I'd say, yeah,
for sure. Like I think we saw the zones.
Yeah,
I feel good in all the zones. Now I'm ready to fly. They could also add a fast forward button on the intro quest too.
Yes, we have
I
it
would
for Legion.
love that. Oh my goodness! I did my 5th one right before recording tonight. That's why I was late.
Oh,
I got all enthralled. I'm leveling up my Horde Shaman so I can do some arenas and stuff with Projali. But yeah, I was sitting there and I was lamenting it. I typed in, I think, /say, and I went, WTB, want to buy fast forward button, please. And then somebody was like, yes, let's do that. And then we joined groups and then we went through and destroyed it all. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, because like we had a fast forward in Legion, we had a fast forward in BFA, and Draenor technically is a fast forward. You have to like jump a little bit, but there's a way to get past that. And like, I don't get why the Maw, especially they're going to be trapping in the Maw again later on to do a lot of things. Why they make it where you have to go through this over and over and over again.
Right.
Yeah, no, I firmly agree. They should like give you like a potion or something.
Yeah.
You here, drink this, and then you just die. Go to the Shadowlands.
What happened?
I mean, yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Bolvar's like, you've heard this before. Drink this.
Yes. Ooh, I can see like I got like a Sylvanas thing, like because. Do you see Sylvanas as you're heading into the Shadowlands, or am I? No, I'm thinking wrong.
She's already down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. In an alternate one, you like somehow like. I'm trying to think of like some way that where like you meet Sylvanas. Sylvanas like here, champion, you take this and you eat this. I was trying to do how her voice does it, but it's hard to do because I know Ro has perfected the Sylvanas.
I think you nailed it.
Yes,
that was on point.
Yeah, or have her there like, ha! I caught you, sucker, and then you like
surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puts you in a cage, and then somebody's there, and they're like, "No, just kidding." Or maybe one of the bizarre, like Venari type people come and they bust you out of the cage or something.
Yeah,
That'd
be like
cool.
Just any way to get us into what we're doing, and especially for like Threads of Fate, because I mean, if you're not doing the main story and just doing Threads of Fate, just skip it. Yeah. There's some decisions in Shadowlands.
That's even better. Just pick Threads of Fate from the beginning.
Yeah, be like the Threads of Fate, and then like the Threads of Fate mean that you die and you have to.
Yeah, you go through and do the things, and here you go. Welcome to the Shadowlands. Okay, get out of here.
Yeah, streamline it.
Yeah, Blizzard's. No, I was gonna say like Blizzard's gone forward and gone back. It seems like in Shadowlands, there's some interesting design decisions. I do wonder. This is a weird tangent that's coming to my mind. I wonder if some of these decisions were because they didn't have the in-person. I know they had Zoom calls, but you have to wonder if they didn't. If some decisions were because they didn't have back and forth overall on this, and someone's like, "I'm sorry, my kid needs to go somewhere. Can we just finish this damn Zoom meeting now?" and all that, and it's like, okay, we'll reconvene next week, and then when they reconvene, that's okay. I guess we do this. I mean, it's just a thought.
It could be, yeah. I think the COVID. I mean, the fact that they released what they did during a pandemic, it was really impressive. Like
it was.
Like the game is right now, in my opinion, is the best it's been in years.
It has, and brought so many people back. I think one of the calls said we're at one of the peaks of sub numbers.
Yeah, and I mean, you mix that with the classic options. I mean, Blizzard right now is in a really good spot. Now, I do know that there has been some like controversies out there. I know kind of a hot button topic is the customizations.
Yes, I know.
Blizz coming out and just straight up saying, "No more. We're done."
I think from a diversity standpoint, that's a very bad idea because I like some people that they're finding it hard to look how to feel represented in the game because like certain options don't match what we were shown, and I know a couple people that have actually left the game. Well, I mean, it was so much that Polygon. I've not seen the articles if it's been released, but I remember right as it was announced, Polygon had a reporter saying, "Hey, if if you're upset with this, please let me know." And I think that was probably a faux pas in my opinion that Blizzard said none at all. Because,
well, and I don't know, like, I think it's again. Blizzard has a great way of like shooting themselves in the foot just by phrasing things incorrectly. You'll have phones, don't you? Or you think you do, but you don't.
Yeah, there's some infamous quotes out there.
Yeah, and here we go again. And it's like, now I know some people are like, hey, build a bridge, get over it, whatever. But it's like, these games are being played for a reason, right? They're for us to escape reality. And if you want to make a human character as a person of color, now I'm not. I am, I'm a white guy. So I don't understand what that person goes through. And when I make characters myself in video games, I like to make characters that kind of look like me, right? And now, granted, my Draenei is a Draenei. He's a big blue dude with giant tentacles hanging off his face, so I don't look like that. but I think the having that option of letting people express themselves and to be who they are in game as they are outside the world, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I think that only helps. Now, if they would have came out and said like, hey, we have so much that we can do now. Unfortunately, we can't add more, but we're going to look at it for the future. There's no controversy here. It's straight up. Yeah.
And even like say, okay, maybe for patch 2, not saying none more for Shadowlands because that's 2+ years or 1 to 2 years. I'm trying to trying to max.
Yeah, it's probably a year and a half left. Let's say roughly.
Yeah, and that's a long time for someone to say it because there are people that still don't feel like the character's quite who they are, and like I said, I've got privilege that I'm white, so to me the characters look like how I identify, but you want people to feel like they are that character,
right? Yeah, I mean it makes sense, and that's the whole point of a video game like this. It's in the fantasy setting. It's a fantasy world, and some folks want to be themselves in this fantasy world.
Absolutely.
And now I don't know if you've seen the old models and turned the skin tone darker. It doesn't look good. And I was just thinking to myself, like when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is not good. Like these just don't look good. Like I feel bad for folks who want to use this setting. And I think that, I think this is something the community could come together and talk to Blizz with, and I think they'll listen to us.
Yeah.
If we bang the drum hard enough and just say, hey, we need some more. Here's the direction we need to go. And I think that will help a lot. in my opinion.
I mean, I could even see, because we have some very talented designers, and I mean, it'd be giving up creative control, but like hire some of the people. I mean, look at our cinematics; they got better once you hired people like Karen Gregory in the community. In Blizzard, if you're struggling to get this stuff going, hire some of the people that are in your community who are making amazing models. I'm trying to think of of who, but I know one of the people. They have been using their time to make models to show Blizzard how can you do it, and it's like hire them, consult with them, do something to reward their time for what they do, but like, and not just exposure, but I seriously compensate them for what they've done. But like, I think there's a way to really there's a way to win this, and you're losing the points that you've won. I mean, being trans, I feel. You won for me on the being able to change gender to represent who I am, but still, you're losing it. Not with me, but for the other people for not being able to customize further.
Yeah, because in like when they brought out those options at the 2019 BlizzCon,
the audience!
I thought that was great,
and I was in the room with them, and everyone was just like, "Wow!" And I looked around the room.
We all were there. We all
Yeah, we were all there.
And that room was full of a diverse crowd, and everyone was like, "Wow!" And like seeing different things, and like they're in different parts of the room, were like cheering, and like people were seeing themselves in the game that they love on screen.
Yep,
Definitely.
That's a big deal, man.
Yeah,
I mean, and I don't know. I think you're right. I think they definitely need to look at this from a broader perspective. I mean, it's just going to build more goodwill.
It will.
And to those who are fighting it and think that it's dumb or something, just put yourself in other people's shoes for once. Like, just stop opening your flap hole and just put yourself in other people's shoes. And what would you think if you were them?
Yeah.
And it's really hard. And it's hard to do that, but at least you're trying to understand. And I think if people can do that and try to understand, then they're going to understand like what the root of this issue is and why it's so important and why everyone should be represented in this game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's how I feel about anything anyway. But, there's been this weird culture that's been going around the past few years of, well, I'm going to say this because I'm going to be a dickhead just because I can now. And it's like, that's not how it works.
No.
Like, respecting others never went away. So, if your grandma was around, she'd be backhanding you right now. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was a random rant, but...
I think it's right on that if you see yourself in the game, great. Just realize there are people that don't see themselves in this game at this moment, and it causes a lot of distress, and it's why would you want to be somewhere where you don't feel seen or welcome?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But actually, I wanted to touch on this. Now, this is where the spoiler comes in.
Plug your ears.
We're going to touch on story here. Now, Anduin went full Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Yes!
And leg dropped us, the macho populist Randy Savages.
Oh, yeah.
Dropped the leg on us. We didn't see it coming. We did see it coming, if we're being honest with ourselves. But,
yeah.
We have a new Lich King, basically. A Jail King. Jail King? Stupid. But my question to you two is, where does the story go from here?
Well, Anduin's now possessed by the jailer, if I'm seeing this right.
Yeah.
So, who else is Anduin possessed, or not Anduin? Who else is the jailer possessing?
Mm-hmm.
What things are being twisted in front of our mind and going a step further, because we're getting now into some serious mind play. I'm still convinced N'Zoth is alive, and the Void's been around for a while. N'Zoth is part of the Void. What if in some way N'Zoth and the Void is part of this whole thing.
It's possible.
Because especially when you're in Maldraxxus, you hear them talking about the fight with the Void. That whatever that weird thing is that flew through and hit the Arbiter, that we still don't know what did that, but that's when everything stopped. I'm trying to remember when they discussed it, but someone was saying that's the moment where everything changed in the Shadowlands, and that happened, for I understand, around Legion in the timeline.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So forces have been corrupting things in the Shadowlands for the longest time, and it would be interesting. I'm just interested in the mind play and the you think you know what's going on, but then you see Anduin again kill
but here comes something out of left field.
Yeah.
Because that's about when you had Wazala whispering into Vol'jin's ear, telling him to promote Sylvanas to be the next war chief. So you have this whole machination of the jailer pushing his influence into the mortal realm even more. Previously, the helm of domination had been Ner'zhul, and then when Ner'zhul fell, it became Arthas, and then Bolvar held on to it as long as he could. But eventually, one of the jailer's minions, Sylvanas, comes around and breaks it. So he's really been practicing that control magic, or whatever there may be an official term for it, but control magic, for lack of a better term. And this Anduin control seems to be kind of the finest one yet, because it almost seemed like Arthas still had some sort of self-control. I mean, it's debatable with all the people he killed, but he seemed to be somewhat aware of his actions still, whereas Anduin looked just completely glazed over, and he had that little moment of clarity, but you saw the runes light back up, and the jailer took control over it again. So he seems like he's mastered this technology, whatever it is, and that kind of raises a question. We've rescued a few people from Torghast and the Maw. What we pulled out Bane, we pulled out Thrall, we pulled out Jaina. Are they Manchurian candidates, or is something potentially going to go off? It's probably not. They're probably too on the
still with it,
the Horde and Alliance side. Yeah, but there's a possibility that he's enacting that same kind of mind control there. Who knows? Yeah,
and I love that idea of people being under the control that we don't know of. I mean, and that's where I was going. Is N'Zoth behind it, or was even N'Zoth control? I mean, who else in our existence is controlled by the jailer, or who's controlling the jailer?
Well, isn't the Void its own zone, kind of like how the Shadowlands is, and the the scheme of things? I understand.
Yeah, that it might not be a 3D zone like we know, but it exists in its own pocket of dimensional. If I'm getting it right. I mean, I don't do a lore podcast, so this is stuff that I don't always get.
But we need Jin. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a void realm, but the void is the if you think about the concept of the void, it's the opposite of the light.
Yeah.
Right? So Yrel and Ysera and all them are within the light realm, but then the void is the opposite side of it, and they're constantly clashing with each other. So
and that's where
the Void Lords created the old gods, and so that's where that the Black Empire and all that follows that lineage of the Void. And so I don't know. Maybe N'Zoth's still around. He is the all-seer, infinite truths was he constantly was quoting he sees all throughout the whole instance, and then we kill him with our necklaces. It seems a little sure, guys, you got me. Oh, you got me.
The Care Bear stare.
Well, and that cinematic at the end seemed way too clean.
It felt just too convenient.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I still think that something's happening while we're gone, and to cause all this stuff. I mean, oh God, imagine if we're all just in a dream right now, and then we wake up tomorrow and we're in the Bob Newhart bed, and and our characters wake up next to Bob Newhart, and be like, "It was a dream. I dreamed I was in the Shadowlands." Spoiler for Bob Newhart show if anybody's ever. Or it was just Newhart. Bob Newhart was the one show. The Newhart was the one where he was in the Vermont, and that's the one where he woke up in the bed. It was like I had the weirdest.
Well, then it's interesting too because what's going to happen with Stormwind?
Yeah,
because who's watching it now? Isn't it? I can never remember their names. The Void and Light husband and wife combo.
Yeah,
Dude Bro and Dark Lady. I can't remember their names.
Right now, my mind is void of their names.
Right, they're still around up there.
Terralion and Ilaria?
Yeah.
Sounds right. I don't play Alliance.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't either, but...
Terralion definitely sounds right, but like I said...
I think it is Illyria, but if they're up there watching things... I can't remember. Is Gen still watching Stormwind? Yeah, because he didn't come down with us, did he? No. Though at BlizzCon, he was definitely talking with Sylvanas. Did you see the video at BlizzCon where with the dog and Sylvanas? Oh, yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it'll be interesting to see what happens to Stormwind. So now here's our Alliance fracture moment.
Oh, God! Do you remember before the storm, Sylvanas was thinking about Stormwind?
I do remember that, yes.
I remember, was that a memory or a vision? Because if that was a vision of Stormwind burning, what? Oh God! What if we're not? What if we're going to see the realization of that vision?
That could be.
Well, and that was an interesting kind of concept too. Is like, what if N'Zoth tricked us in a major way, and we're all going into the Shadowlands, and now all of a sudden we come back after Shadowlands, and Orgrimmar and Stormwind are covered in void tentacles.
Yeah. And during one of them, I think the Q&A there asked about time, and it sounds like time moves but doesn't move at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know, but my brain it's not working anymore. It's broken.
When you get to the timey-wimey stuff, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
My brain's broken. My alliance might be shattered.
Oh,
so
no.
I might be looking for a new faction here soon.
Well,
the Horde welcomes all.
Ian did say that in a good world, and like an ideal world, we wouldn't have to do mercenary modes like in the PvP. But he kind of did allude that maybe at some point we'll be able to group up with each other cross faction, because that was, I think, one of the biggest things I saw in the Q&A was, well, we might have been wrong to we'll keep the Horde Alliance at BlizzCon, even though nobody was cheering in the audience in this video. I don't get it. Like the audience, no one cheered.
Oh yeah, huh? Audience participation was really low. It was
I know.
bizarre.
It was pathetic this year.
Yeah, that would be great. Like, I think it's time. If we're going to join forces, like truly join forces and fight these big baddies, we need to join forces and go into each other's capitals and stuff and actually work together instead of continually just fighting each other. Like, no, you big stinky orc face. I don't want to group with you.
Bane and Anduin were working together, and then Sylvanas stopped them again. And before the storm, I still remember when Sylvanas was like, "Anduin or Bane, don't stop talking with Anduin." And if Sylvanas, you remember when Sylvanas would suddenly change eyes during she would suddenly something would change in her. During the Bring It Still and Makara, what if she's been fighting against the same force that's possessing Anduin? Oh, and this is her redemption arc, that she finally breaks free of the jailer's control. That she thinks she's working with the jailer, but really the jailer is just using her and making us think that, oh, my mind's now going all over the place on this.
Raz, my brains are just melting out of my ears right now.
Yeah, it's hard to say, because she will be in the next raid, so we're going to find out more.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to bring up one interesting tidbit that came in after BlizzCon. there is the panel with Thrall. All about Thrall's life. Our good friend Grandagus, and hopefully he's okay with me saying this, theorized, why did we have a whole panel on Thrall? Why did they go through the entire life of Thrall and like really talk about Thrall in a really remembering way? What if our war chief returns to us and one, I'm hoping that he meets his mom again, but two, what if in some way he takes on whatever force it is and sacrifices himself to save Sylvanas in some way, or there's something like I don't think
like Thrall goes down in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, I mean, Metzon's done. He's ready to move on. He's back, but I can almost feel like, what if this is the final send off of Thrall?
Oh man, if he sacrifices himself to save Sylvanas,
or
how many
Anduin,
people would be upset about that.
Maybe Anduin, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be Anduin or Jaina. It doesn't have to just be Sylvanas, but like...
Well, yeah, like saving some of those folks, I could see that for sure. Like, that makes sense to me. I mean, somebody's got to die eventually, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've all died technically to get here, but yeah, somebody has to die at some point. And because I know Bolvar took on whatever force was holding Arthas captive in the Lich King. Mm-hmm. And now whatever force it is there is taking over Anduin, and I could see Thrall being the final Lich King, and Maldraxxus.
Maybe we kill him. Maybe we kill Thrall.
Oh God! Oh no!
Ooh.
But I'm also
enthralled now. With that.
No,
I mean, I could do
cannot kill
this guy, but
nope. He hasn't even met up with Draka yet. Come on.
Right before.
Oh God.
And then you lay down the final moonfire to end his life.
Yes.
You don't moonfire if it's not going to be up that long. That's old Boomkin, man.
Well, however, Boomkins kill things now. I don't know.
Star Search and Full Moon.
How did Moonfire work in the Burn Crusade?
Oh, it was weak back then too. But you did Moonfire spam in Arena. That's for sure.
But yeah, there's a lot of questions that we don't have answered yet, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, yes. I think the best part about the 9.1 announcement is that it's opened up so many, like, what the heck's going to happen? Like, we just had a whole conversation there about possibly N'Zoth coming back, or what if Thrall's the final Lich King, or how do we save Anduin? Like, what's going to happen to Stormwind? I don't know. There's so many things going on. I think that's what's got me so excited for the next patch. Well, and I can't wait.
Can I mention a cool thing I saw? It has to do with current spoilers of Ardenweald, but did you see that Vol'jin is getting his body restored?
I did
not see that.
Or like at one point he goes somewhere and he talks with one of the spirits, and they're like, I will like, Razan sacrifices his life for in front of everything, and then Vol'jin, the queen says, I will give you your life back, and it's like we might see Vol'jin come back from the beyond.
That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah. Part of the Covenant campaign.
Yeah.
No. Definitely. I'm excited about that.
There's a lot of things, and
there's so many things. It's crazy. We could go all night with that.
And one of the ones that I keep hoping that happens, because somebody brought this up. There's so many characters that are new to WoW that have no prior relation to Warcraft 3 that are like, and it's a new story. It'd be cool to see more of them come up and to see like more of their stuff. And I mean, with all this, if we kill Anduin, I mean, I don't want to kill Anduin, but like if Anduin dies or something like that,
if I'm being honest.
You want to kill the Boy King?
Yeah, he kind He kind of sucked the last 2 expansions, if I'm being honest with everybody here.
He was kind of thrust into power, and I still don't think Anduin was ready to be king. In my opinion,
he wasn't. And Varian was such a cool character.
He was.
Yeah.
And, I loved him.
I think Anduin did his best, but
it really gutted me when Varian died.
Oh, I thought we were going to see him again somehow, but I guess when you die by fell, it doesn't really. It sends you somewhere else. I saw a horrible joke where somebody had like some glow in the dark like pebbles in a bag, and it was like a Varian puzzle.
I saw that one. 1,000 pieces.
I was like, oh my god. I'm so sad, but this is so funny at the same time.
Yeah. Yes. Oh.
Well, that's a perfect segue into the scrub moments. Now, Frazley, this is the 3rd time you've been on the show.
I know. I love it.
Yeah. It's been
Thank
great.
you.
And you laid down a couple amazing scrub moments. I know you have some more.
So
what you got for us here?
Stop me and edit this out if I've already said this before, because I can't remember what was on the last one, but this was a story from beginning of Shadowlands. I was working on the campaign quest for the first time, and I'm in Ardenweald. This is I think 55 or 56. I pick up a quest to go kill some invaders in Ardenweald. And I'm walking around because it said they're hiding in all that. So I'm looking around, spending 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, this quest must be bugged because I remember in beta they were right here. They were doing all this stuff because I did the same quest in beta. Later on, I come back, I pick up that quest again. I'm like, okay, I'll try it again. Maybe it was just bugged because of something to do with the opening of the Shadowlands. Find out that he was confusing 2 different quests, and this quest was 5 miles down the road, and I was like, "Are you serious?" So
those little blue dots on the map are. You don't know if they're up or down sometimes, right?
Exactly, no. And it's like, Blizzard tells us where stuff is, because even the other thing that caught me, the on-screen objective marker, when I picked up that quest again, was pointing me directly there. I had probably been missing that on-screen marker that shows up right there for a good 20, 30 minutes. And I'm just walking around trying to figure out where stuff is.
Yeah, we all have those. I do that all the time. I think one of the areas gives a daily quest, and I do that. It's like, oh yeah, I go over here. It's like, oh yeah, I go over there, and then I go over there, and then I look up, and I'm 38 miles from the blue circle.
Yeah, and you're like, how did I get all the way over here, and why didn't I?
It pays. Yeah, it happens. That's a good one.
Projali, how about you?
Oh, boy. I've been playing pretty well the last 2 weeks, so I'm not sure how scrubby I can go. I did. So I started out the expansion as Kyrian because it simmed the best, and then we quickly realized with all the fights in Castle Nathria that Night Fae was just better in every way, shape, and form for Druid, and there's very little reason to be anything but Night Fae's balanced Druid right now. So went to the dark side of the Night Fae.
Mm-hmm. Welcome.
And hadn't tanked a dungeon since I'd swapped. So some guildies needed some 15s done for the week to get their the Great Vault, get some more options for the Great Vault on a Monday night. So I switch over to Bear, craft a legendary quick, and we get to tanking. And we're doing fine on time, but I'm like, man, I'm just not doing really any damage. These threat pulls are really tough. We get to the end of the dungeon, time it, and then I'm looking through my abilities and stuff. I didn't have Convoke the Spirits keybound. So I was missing my major Covenant DPS cooldown for the whole dungeon. I'm like, oh, no wonder my damage was so god awful. I didn't have my bear go burr button.
Fire, man.
So quickly fixed that for the next ones, but I felt really trash in that moment. I was like, oh, dude, bear's easy. And my healer's just like, what are you doing, man? My life is so hard when you tank. That's why I'm the Monday night tank and not the Tuesday or Wednesday night tank. So I'm the desperation guy. If people need dungeons.
Show you the way to not play, and that way they're ready to the next night.
I'm like, I'm a DPS main. You guys asked for this. I don't know.
Well, mine didn't end in failure, but I've been doing this a lot lately. So my wife and I enjoy doing Torghast together, and we're trying to do layer 7 of the Twisted Corridors because we want that mount before 9.1, so we can at least ride it around for a couple weeks before we can all mount up anyway. But anyways, we get in there and we're just testing it out because we don't know if we have enough gear to even do this. And we have the Cold Heart Interstitia. I hate that one so much, only because it's so mob dense.
Yes.
And the layer 7, like, we were coming into this and it wasn't like a breeze like the last few layers have been in the early going. So this is like the first 6 layers. So we get to a platform with one of those super owl berserker guys and a whole bunch of packs. And so, my wife goes, hey, I'm going to freeze trap this guy. We're going to pull these dudes. We're going to kill these things. We're going to win, right? So I'm like, okay. Well, I, as a elemental shaman, have this thing called chain lightning that has 0 control over where it goes. So I accidentally bust that out next to Owl Guy, who, which the lightning then goes across the entire platform. So I pull like all of the packs, and I'm like, uh-oh. She's like, what do you mean, uh-oh? And I was like, we have incoming. And so we blew every cooldown we had. We killed the platform, thank goodness. But Owl Guy has that ability, once he blows it, you hear like the bloodlust sound. And if you move, he gains attack power. So you have to stand still. So we're trying to stand still with all of this stuff around us. And she's just cursing me at this point. How could you? What is happening? And so, I mean, we killed it, fortunately. But it was, it took everything in our power to do so.
A little
so
scary.
At that point, we're just like, yeah, I don't know if this is going to happen.
Kill as much as you can.
Just start going crazy. I'm blowing everything. Let's do this. Yeah, so word of warning, if you have chain lightning, just be careful out there.
Safety first.
Yeah, it will kill everything. Oh, well, that was fun. That was a great show.
Yeah.
Fraz, where can we find you on the web?
You can find me on Twitter at Frazley-tastic, where I do different things throughout the week, like puns and post like things about like my experience. You can find my podcast every other week at Frazlecast.com, where we talk with different people around Azeroth and beyond. And like usually around the Halloween, we have Scion, and Cy scares me shitless. Yes. Oh, I had one recently where like my cat was staring up at something, and I'm looking around. Okay, is there like a bug? No, he was just staring and like watching something move. And like there was no bug moving at all. I didn't see anything, and I'm like, oh, what's there?
I love how the background of your camera just turned red when you said that.
Oh yes, like
that's clearly a demon. Yeah.
Hello, we're back here. Hello.
Wait a minute.
And if you ever want to see like my experiences in WoW and other games, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/FrazleyS. So all across the internet, you can find me doing and come on over, and you never know the fun we'll have. I mean, we may talk about the animal mating sounds and your favorite movies.
Tortoises.
Well, I'll message you about that podcast. We gotta. I don't think I've ever laughed that hard in a podcast.
Yes. Oh my god. And the fact that you like I mentioned it and you're like, oh yeah, I just watched it this last weekend. And I'm like,
Fun fact.
Fun fact.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Fraz. That was great.
oh, thank you for having me on. And congratulations again on how far this show has gone, and having a co-host that I don't know if I've talked to you before, Projali, but you are cool. So I give you my blessing.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. You are cool as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Fraz. This has been a wild ride. So I know we're coming up on our 50th here in 7 episodes.
The big 5-0.
So in about 3 years we'll get there. But
well, what is what is one thing about your last few episodes your last 50 episodes? What's one thing that you are glad that you did not know when you first started?
I'm glad I didn't know.
Yes.
I'm glad that no matter how much you plan for a show, it doesn't matter how much you plan. The best shows are always the ones that go off the rails.
Yes!
Yeah. That's what I've learned.
Because that human element, the stuff that makes it different and vibrant. Yes.
Yeah. It keeps it fun. It keeps it less robotic, and it just keeps it to the point. Or not to the point, but it it does the opposite of that.
Yeah.
But it just creates that fun element to it that you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, yes, we're trying to help people play better and all that stuff, but we're going to do it in a way that's fun and relaxing in the same way that you are doing it in-game. You're laughing, you're joking, you're having fun, and that's the hope going forward, that we capture that. So
and surprise the audience, like Chains of Domination in that cutscene. Surprise the audience on what they're going to see.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, I never expected to be talking about tortoises mating.
Hashtag turtle coitus. Wait, no, we don't want that hashtag probably. That's,
we don't.
That's territory we don't need to get involved with.
Let's just keep it.
Well, one funny story.
We're going to take our ox with the yoke coming out of its butt, and we're going to head this way.
I do have one funny story about animal mating. We were at the local zoo, and in Florida, or not a local zoo, but we were at a zoo in Florida, and my niece had to be about 3 or 4. Looks over at the hyenas and says, "Look, mommy, they're wrestling."
Oh no!
We're like, "Let's go over this way."
Oh jeez.
And with that. That's the show.
And thanks for listening to the show, everyone. You can find us over on Twitter at ScrubsVerse. You can find my personal Twitter at Cyrub_KOC. You can find Projali at TheProjali. You can find me on Twitch every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Time, raiding with my raid team, the Knights of Chipotle. Right now, we are currently on heroic level Deathrius, and hopefully we can drop him soon so we can get this AOTBC business done. Wherever you are out there, we hope you're having a great day, staying safe, kicking ass in general, and as always, keep getting good.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.